It was a Thursday evening, dishes clinking in the sink as Sarah scrubbed them clean. She spoke without looking up, her voice light but deliberate. "I'm thinking of taking a trip. Just me, a few weeks in Europe." I paused, setting my drink on the counter. "Alone?" I asked. "Well, no," she said, still focused on a stubborn pot. "Clara and Jen are coming too. But this is for me." Clara and Jen, both unattached, both reeling from recent splits, both chasing some version of finding themselves they'd heard about on their latest podcast obsession. I knew exactly what kind of trip this was shaping up to be. "What's in Europe that you can't find here?" I asked, keeping my tone even. She dried her hands, still avoiding my eyes. "I've never done anything on my own, Tom. I went straight from my parents' place to our life together. I need this to feel like me again." We'd been married 5 years, settled into a home we'd bought just last spring. Things weren't flawless, but they were steady. Or so I'd thought. "This isn't about going wild," she added quickly, catching the look on my face. "I just need space to breathe." Space. The word hung there. Space before what? I pressed. "Before kids? Before we're too locked in? Before you run off with Jen's new Pilates guru?" Her jaw tightened. "That's not fair." "What's not fair?" I shot back. "The trip, or the fact that you're deciding this without me?" She sighed, exasperated. "I knew you'd take it like this. That's why I almost didn't tell you until the tickets were booked." That hit like a slap. This wasn't a discussion. It was a heads up. The kind you give when you've already made up your mind. She left the following weekend. I didn't argue, didn't beg. But as I watched her pack, I made a choice of my own. One she wouldn't see until it was too late. I drove her to the airport that morning. Not out of kindness, but because I refused to let her paint me as the bitter one. She was dressed for a photo shoot, not a 10-hour flight. Tailored jacket, oversized sunglasses. A suitcase that probably cost more than my first paycheck. "You okay?" she asked as we pulled into the drop-off lane. "Fine," I said, shutting off the car. "Got your passport?" She nodded, then hesitated. "You're quiet." I turned to her. "You're jetting off with 2 women who think commitment is a suggestion, and you're wondering why I'm not chatty." She frowned. "This is why I need this. You make everything into something it's not." "Not everything," I said. "But trips like this, they have a way of opening doors better left closed." She rolled her eyes, grabbed her bag, and gave me a quick peck on the cheek. Like we were acquaintances, not husband and wife. "I'll text when I land," she said. "Don't bother," I replied. Her face faltered. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means go do what you've already decided to do, Sarah. Go find whatever you're chasing. Just don't pretend it's for us." She didn't answer, just walked into the terminal. I drove away without a second glance. That afternoon I started untangling our lives. I didn't touch our joint accounts, I'm not that guy, but I redirected my paycheck to a new bank. I canceled a couple's trip we'd planned for the fall, routing the refund to my card. I updated the billing on our shared accounts, electric, internet subscriptions. Small moves but deliberate. We weren't splitting up, not officially, but I was done acting like a man whose wife still saw him as her partner. Let her chase her freedom. I'd be here drawing lines. By the 5th day, her first photo popped up online. A wine glass raised at a sidewalk cafe, caption "Wandering in Porto, finding calm." Porto wasn't even on her original plan. Then came Valencia, Florence, Cannes. She and her friends were clearly winging it, bouncing between cities like they had no responsibilities waiting back home. The posts were curated perfection. Plates of olives, cliffside sunsets, Sarah in breezy dresses and those same sunglasses, laughing with Clara or pretending to admire a painting. But one photo stopped me cold. A group shot, Sarah and her friends with 3 unfamiliar guys. One had his arm around her waist. No names, no context, just a vague caption. "New faces, kindred spirits." I stared at it for too long, then saved a screenshot to a folder on my computer. Instinct maybe. Or insurance. Either way, I was done assuming the best. I didn't react publicly. No comments, no likes, no messages. She sent one text that week. "Hey, hope you're okay. Just got to Madrid, it's amazing." I didn't reply. The next day, Jen posted a video from a beach club. Sarah was dancing barefoot, drink in hand, That same guy from the photo leaning in close, whispering something. She didn't step back. I watched it a few times, saved it to the folder, and kept my silence. I wasn't going to chase her. I'd wait. 3 weeks later, she walked back into our house like she'd just been out for coffee. "God, it's good to be home," she said, dropping her bags and stretching. "The trains in Italy? Total nightmare." I leaned against the counter, arms crossed. She glanced around. "You moved stuff?" "Had time," I said. She came over, tried to kiss me. I turned slightly, and her lips brushed my cheek. Her smile dimmed. "You're upset." "Nope," I said. "You're back. That's what counts, right?" She laughed, but it was forced. "Okay, I know how it looked, but it wasn't like that. We just needed a break from everything." "Looked like you made some interesting friends," I said. She froze. "You saw the posts?" "I saw enough." "Tom, come on," she said, her voice softer now. "You know how it is. People end up in photos. It doesn't mean anything." "You weren't wearing your ring," I pointed out. She flinched. "It was safer," she said. "We were traveling. I didn't want to draw attention." I didn't respond. She rummaged through her suitcase, pulling out a small leather notebook. "I got you something," she said, handing it to me. "You always said you wanted to write more. Thought it'd be perfect for Paris someday." I took it, set it aside, and handed her an envelope from the counter. She opened it, her hands slowing as she read. A bank notice about our separated accounts, paperwork starting the process to buy out her share of the house, and a moving company's contact info already booked. Her eyes widened. "You're throwing me out?" "You wanted space," I said, voice steady. "I made sure you'd have it." Her tone sharpened. "Over one trip?" I sipped my coffee. "Over one choice. A choice you made without me." She sank onto the couch. "It wasn't supposed to be forever, Tom. I just needed time." "Time to do what?" I asked. "Flirt across Spain? Pretend you're single again? What did you expect to come back to?" She shook her head. "You're blowing this out of proportion. You're not even letting me explain." "You had a month to explain," I said. "All I got was photos and captions." "I didn't cheat," she said firmly. "Did you get close?" Her silence was loud. "You think stopping short of a line means nothing happened," I said. "You checked out of this marriage the moment you left. You wanted freedom, Sarah. You got it. But it costs." Her eyes welled up. "You're just done? Just like that?" I didn't answer immediately. I went to the hall, pulled out a bag I'd packed for her, clothes, toiletries, the basics, and set it by her feet. "You can stay with Clara or Jen," I said. "You've got places to go." She stood, voice shaking. "This is really happening." I met her gaze. "I told you not to pretend this was for us. You chose. Now I'm choosing." It wasn't loud or messy, just final, the kind of quiet that settles when something breaks for good. She was gone by the end of the week. Jen pulled up in her beat-up hatchback to help move the rest of Sarah's things. No pleasantries, just a quick nod and a mumbled "hey" before she disappeared into the bedroom. Sarah didn't talk much either. She packed methodically, taking clothes, books, a few photos, leaving behind a half-empty bottle of conditioner in the bathroom, like she couldn't commit to finishing. She stopped once, standing in the doorway, watching me scroll on my tablet at the kitchen table. "This doesn't feel real," she said. I didn't look up. "It is. I thought we could work it out when I got back." "You should have thought about that before you left," I said. That was it. My cousin Mike came by that weekend with his pickup to haul the last of her boxes to storage. He didn't pry, just stacked everything neatly and drove off. Afterward, I sat on the patio with a beer and a throw blanket. The house was still, but it wasn't empty, it was mine. Not sad, just calm. I wasn't angry. I wasn't broken. I was free. The same kind of free she'd chased across continents. I didn't need a passport to find it. 2 weeks later, she tried reaching out. A new number flashed first, which I ignored. Then emails. "Can we talk? Just one call, Tom." I didn't reply. The next day, I saw her outside the house, leaning against her car, trying to look casual. "I've been trying to reach you," she said as I stepped out. "I noticed," I said, locking the door. "You moved on already?" "I started moving the second you said you needed space." She paused, then pulled a small box from her purse, my wedding ring. I carried it with me the whole time, she said. I never took it off. It traveled farther than we ever did, I said. She blinked, caught off guard. Tom, I made a mistake. I held her gaze. No, you made a choice. You just didn't like what came with it. I thought we were better than this, she said, voice breaking. No, Sarah. I was better. You were unsure. She flinched but didn't argue. Is this it? She asked. I walked to my car. You wanted freedom. You've got it. I drove off without looking back. 6 months later, the house was sold. We divided everything cleanly, no fights, no lawyers, just a quick signature and a handshake. I moved to a one-bedroom apartment near my office. Small, functional mine. I started biking again. Signed up for a woodworking class on weekends. It's strange how much of yourself comes back when you stop pouring it into someone who wouldn't return the favor. Friends still bring her up sometimes. She's in counseling, they say. Maybe she's different now. Maybe. But I don't need to find out. That's the gift of moving on. You don't owe anyone your curiosity. I heard she's dating again. Nothing serious, just testing the waters. She sent me one last message a while back. A photo of that leather notebook she'd bought me, resting in her hand. No text, just the image. I deleted it. What she doesn't know is I kept mine, not for her, but for me. A reminder that love, the real kind, isn't about big promises or do-overs. It's about showing up when it's tough, when the world dangles something shiny, and you choose to stay anyway. She left to find herself. I stayed and found me. I'm seeing someone now, taking it slow. No rush, no fireworks, just steady. I notice the small things now. The way she listens, the way she shows up. The quiet stuff, the kind that lasts. And that's enough.